Okay, so how's everybody doing? So this is the final on the GP40-2CN unit. I've been raking over the coals for, oh, I don't know. I've had it for a couple of years. It was relegated to a parts box. I have some newer units I was going to do and use it just for a backup for parts, but I thought, I might as well use it as a project, right? And I know for those of you that have been following with the scenery part, I'm going back to that now. I just wanted to get this locomotive out of the way. Otherwise, I probably would have never have finished it if I wasn't even motivated to do it. But the channel helped to motivate me, believe it or not. So I appreciate everybody's comments and subs. So unit is done now. And actually, I have to say that it's probably the best sounding locomotive that I have. It just, really is stands above all the rest. A couple little things I did. I added sand pipes to it. I'll show you a quick tutorial on how I did that. This is how I do the sanding pipe install on this GP40. So what I do is I clean the frame off of the paint here in front of this truck and on the side frame here, and then rough it up with the point of a knife, give it some tooth, and then I epoxy some styrene, some 40 thou styrene strip blocks, and then here on the frame as well, on both sides. And I drill a 15 thou hole in there, maybe just a little bit larger if you want, but 15 thou wire, brass wire. And then what I do is I take a piece of brass wire like this, a pair of flat pliers, and I crush the end so it's got that blade, the little blade spreader that's on the end. And then I just take, like an extra long length, right? And then I just wrap it around my X-Acto knife. There's a little groove on this one. It's perfect for it. Just wrap it around. And there's your sanding pipe. And they just get inserted into the little hole. Like that. And then I also added new ditch lights because I pooched those. So I built new ones for that. I'll show you quickly how I build my own ditch lights. Okay, so I'll just do a quick refresh on the ditch light application and the method that I like to use. There's many ways to do it. I like to do it this way. You can buy the miniatures by Eric, etc., ditch light models or parts if you want, and that's great. Have at her. But if they're metal, you got to be careful you don't short out the LED. If you make them out of plastic like I do, you'll never have to worry about a short in an LED. I wouldn't want to be chasing that with a problem. But anyway, the former way is good too, but I like to do it this way. And how I make them is I just take whatever size of channel I desire, evergreen plastic, and then I glue on a piece of 5/32 dowel, just a section. I make these up with small tiny strip glued on each side, just a long section. I just cut them. And I make a whole bunch. I just weld it onto a piece, like an extra length so I can hold it in my hand. 5/32 dowel, 1/16 drill bit. And I just slowly drill out the center with a nice sharp new 1/16 drill bit. And I would say that 8 times out of 10, you'll get a nice drill. Sometimes it'll blow out the side, but just make a bunch. And then you can cut them to size and then glue them, scrape them, and weld them right to the frame. And in this case here, there's already cavities in this frame, which is a nice thing about these Atlas Jeep frames I really like. You don't have to mill the chassis to run the wires underneath on some units like Kato's and such. Well, not all Kato's, but some. Anyway, so they weld right on. And so some of you might say, well, the CN ditch lights, they don't look like that. Well, yeah, it's true. The original ones had this thin sort of circular pedestal like this with a bezel like this. But after they were re-and-reed half a dozen times, these units, repainted, rebuilt, it's very common for CN and BC Rail to use these rectangular style risers with the larger bezel ditch lights. Very, very common. If you do your research, you'll see. And some of them are red, some are black, and some are aluminum. Okay, so that's how I do the ditch lights. Okay, just another quick little pointer or tip. When you pull the LEDs through the ditch light bezel, I like to drill a hole just down near the bottom part of the tube. Here's the light bezel. There's the way the LED is glued on to the bezel, and those wires are soldered. One of the wires is just sort of makes a corner here. That's just the way it's soldered. So you want that corner down near the bottom. As you just gently feed it through like this. See this one here? So that it goes in nice. You just pull it through and it sits in there. Inside, nice. It's not skewed on an angle like this, right? So the light shines down or up. Okay. And then I left the wipers off. It was the only detail part I left. I didn't like them. Really, the Atlas ones are a bit fat for my liking. So, yeah, like I say, I'm really pleased. The unit runs perfectly. It sounds better than any unit that I have. Excuse me. And the lights turned out good. There's the headlight. Here's the ditch lights. And then, of course, there's the rear. Okay, so here's the rear of the unit. You can see there's just a single lamp there. That's the way the Canadian versions were. They just had the single lamp, and some of them had ditch lights on the rear, but some didn't. They were often MU'd or coupled to a similar unit. Could be another GP40 or even GP38. I've seen them out here recently, two GP40-2s together. You'll see the old, this paint scheme here, and then the all black with the North American Continent logo on it. Yeah, so, you know, they've been rebuilt and they're still running. They're probably one of the best road switchers there is still out there running. So anyway, yeah, in closing, it's a really nice unit. I'm really happy with it. And like I say, it's my best sounding unit for sure. It runs as good as any other locomotive that I have. These are great units, these Atlas units. People underrate these. I'm actually surprised how many there is still available, and they're cheap. But man, are they ever nice units to kit bash or just weather up and, you know, or DCC them with sound. You know, I mean, you saw yourself, you can put 4 speakers in these units. And they're beautiful units actually for small shelf layout, you know. Okay, so thanks a lot for watching, and I hope you have a great day.